Hello. Last year I bought a vehicle from a used car dealer, and the brakes wasn't working properly. And I put in a work order at the local General Motors dealership, and got the receipt here. It says rear brake line recently replaced, bled brake system properly, air and brake lines holding as they should. It taxed me $144 labor to bleed the brakes, basically. But this car dealer said there was nothing wrong with the brakes. The mechanic they had on site said they work perfectly. They tried to convince me that the ABS was causing the problem, or it was normal behavior from the ABS, and I don't agree with that. I mean, you step on the brake pedal and you couldn't hardly steer the thing. It was the body roll on it was so bad because the rear brakes was doing nothing. And I contacted the DMV about that, selling me a vehicle that was unsafe to drive on the highway. And they looked up the inspection reports on it and said, well, both of the last two inspection reports said it's good. They had one done a month before I bought the vehicle. Did an emissions test on it. Said it was all good to go, right? And I think it's 3 or 4 months before that, another inspection station said it was safe. So the DMV didn't want to act on it. And here it is about a year later. I go to have it inspected, and it was rejected. Apparently there is no catalytic converter on this vehicle. But yet this dealer had it emission tested a month before I bought it. And according to the paperwork I have, this vehicle's only been driven 3,500 miles in the past year. So I don't know how the exhaust could be worn out or anything to that nature in 3,500 miles. But I got some photographs of the entire exhaust system from the engine back to the muffler, past the muffler. And nobody cares because that's not part of the safety inspection. But ahead of the muffler, it can't have any leaks in it, and it must have exhaust after treatment equipment as it came from the factory. But I find it to be very disturbing when these car dealers pay one of these inspection stations to just certify their vehicles, even if they're not even compliant. And from what I can see in these pictures, that this exhaust system hasn't been worked on in a long time. But yet this car dealer showed me receipts going back several years where they had the engine and transmission redone. The engine receipt says it has 40,000 miles, and the transmission says it has 70,000 miles. And I'm looking into this exhaust, and it doesn't look like it's been welded on in a couple of years. It looks like the system's been on there about 40 to 60,000 miles, a minimum. But I don't really appreciate these used car dealerships dumping junk on a consumer, and then all of a sudden I've got a repair estimate that's going to cost me $800 to keep the license plate on it. Because if it's not safety inspected, then they just slap a red sticker on my windshield, and I can't drive it nowhere.